Welcome back, and today I'm going to make something a little bit different. I'm going to make brown sugar brownies with chocolate chips. It's an old recipe that I did many years ago as a child, and now of course I've modified it a little because I like to modify recipes. All right, so let's get started. Let's measure out our butter first. Okay, so I'm going to tell you how much butter we need. My phone actually stopped recording because the emergency alert system said we were going to have a flash flood. So hopefully it doesn't happen again. All right. So what I need is 8 tablespoons of butter. So in one stick, there is 8 tablespoons of butter. And I need 10. I think I might have said that wrong. So I need 2 more tablespoons from this stick. So I need a stick plus 2 tablespoons, 10 tablespoons of butter. So I'm just going to open this up, and I'm going to cut the 2 tablespoons plus the 8. That's 10, and I'm going to put them in the bowl. And I have let this soften up on the counter, so that's always a good idea when you're making stuff. It makes it easier to mix later. And then my next step is I'm going to do the brown sugar. So I need 2 1/4 cups of brown sugar. Okay, stick this in here. I took the bag of brown sugar and put it in the storage container because it makes it so much easier to measure, and it makes everything stay fresher. Okay, so now when measuring brown sugar, you must pack it in to your measuring device. Okay, so you see that? So it's kind of level there. Okay, I'm going to put that with the butter. So that's 1 cup. Just take your time so that it gets measured correctly. Pack that in nicely. So I can show you. It's kind of like when you were a kid and you played in the sandbox. That's how hard you have to pack it for the correct measurement on brown sugar. Okay, so it's 2 1/4, so now I'm going to take my little 1/4 cup, scoop it. And I had some other brown sugar in the house that would be great for doing other things, but it was getting a little bit hard, and for this particular recipe, I decided to just get some fresh. But a lot of times you can just break up your brown sugar and it'll be just fine. Okay, so that's my butter and my sugar, and I'm just going to set that aside. And now I need 3 eggs. Hope everybody's having a good day. Here it is a rainy day. Okay, well, I got some brown sugar in my bowl there. Okay. 1, 2, 3, and yes, I got some shell in here, so I'm going to use actually the shell to scoop out the shell, because that actually works really well. Oh, I didn't mean to rhyme. Anyway, all right, now I'm going to go wash my hands. I'll be right back. Okay, so when I do extracts, I like to measure the extracts into the egg because it's all liquid. It makes it just easier. So I'm going to do 1 teaspoon of almond extract. Okay. And then I'm going to just take a fork, which I always forget to get out, which I should have got out, and I'm just going to scramble these eggs. And that smells good. I love the smell of almond extract. Okay, I'm going to set that aside, and then we're going to start measuring our other ingredients, our dry ingredients. So I need 2 3/4 cups of flour. And I'm at the bottom of my flour, but I want to use this up first. So I might have to halfway between here add some more flour. We'll see how we go. All right, we'll see how it does. So I need one. Now when doing flour, you want to also do it different than than brown sugar. You want to level it off. Do not pack your flour. So that's 1 cup of flour. We'll do another. Might actually have enough in here. Another cup of flour. And then I need 3/4 of a cup. And my 3/4 of a cup. Let's see if I have enough in this container. So I might have to get out a spoon and just kind of spoon it out. Spoon it like this. And I fell. Okay. And then level this 3/4 cup off. And if you're wondering why I didn't use my metal one, I don't have a 3/4 cup with the metal one. So I have it with this one, and the other one of these that matches is dirty because I baked something else earlier. Okay, so now baking powder. Now make sure that you use baking powder and not baking soda. So we need 2.5 teaspoons of baking powder. So now I'm going to also, just like the flour, I'm going to level it off, and I'm going to use my lid this time. So 1, 2, and then we need a 1/2. So I got my 1/2 teaspoon. And the dry ingredients. And then we need a little bit of salt, a little dash of salt to help the baking powder work. Like that much. And I'm going to get out another fork and stir it around a little. Okay, so let's go over, before I go to the mixer, let's go over our ingredient list, make sure we have everything and we're not missing anything. Okay, so we have our 10 tablespoons of butter, and we have our 2.25 cups of brown sugar, and we have our 2 3/4 cup of flour. Baking powder is 2.5 teaspoons, and salt is a dash. Then also what I have is some milk chocolate. Okay. All right, so let's go over to the mixer and get started. All right, so I have my 10 tablespoons of butter and my 2 1/4 cup of brown sugar in here, and let's get started. Okay, let's check this. Well, I'll tell you what, brown sugar and butter smells really good. Like you almost want to try to eat it already. But I'm going to add eggs in a minute, and then we don't want to try to eat it. But it smells really good just with the brown sugar and the butter. So I'm going to show you kind of how it's looking. So that is mixed up well enough to add the eggs. And something I forgot to mention is I'm using this sort of attachment today because we're making brownies. If I was making cookie dough, I would use the dough attachment. Or if I was making bread, and you definitely don't want to use this attachment or you'll probably break it. And this is a wire wisp for like whipped cream and light sauces and stuff like that. All right, so I'm going to add the eggs. So I have my 3 eggs and my teaspoon of almond extract. Okay, so let's get this mixed up. Let's scrape the sides. Okay, appears it's not sticking, which is nice. Okay, so now the next thing is I'm going to go ahead and start adding my flour mixture, which is 2 3/4 cups flour, 2 1/2 teaspoons of baking powder, and a dash of salt. And I'm just going to add it a little bit as we go along, and I'll start slow and then I'll increase the speed, and then eventually it'll be on high speed, and that goes ahead and actually makes the brownies fluffier when you get the air actually blending in. That's when you put it on high, that's what it does. Okay, so I'm just going to scoot this over a little so you can see me adding it. And let's turn on the power. Looks like I got some on the outside, the splatter screen, so let me be careful and try to get this in here. Okay, I successfully did it. All right. Okay. Here we go. Let's mix up some more. Okay, I'm going to scrape down the sides. It smells so good. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and mix it just a tad more. Okay, now it is time to add the chocolate chips. And we're going to do the chocolate chips by hand, because if you do it with the mixer, what's going to happen is they're going to get broken up, and we don't want that. All right, so I'm going to take this off of here. What we need to do is we need to scrape the beater with our rubber spatula, because there's a lot left on here. I'm going to need a little butter knife to get the rest of this. Okay. All right. This smells very delicious already. Now it's time for our chocolate chips. Okay, I'm going to add like half the package-ish, and I'm going to stir it, and then we'll add the other half. So we want it really evenly distributed. Looking pretty good. Let's do the rest. Okay. Mix it up some more. Okay, I think that's mixed up pretty well. So now it's time to put this into the baking dish. We have to prepare our baking dish first. So let's do that. Okay, so I'm going to put the batter into a 9 by 13 pan. So I need to butter it and flour it. So I got some plastic wrap in the butter, and then I'm just going to make sure I get it everywhere. By the way, I have preheated my oven to 350. I feel like I'm getting too much butter here, so I want a thinner layer. And with the plastic wrap, you can kind of just take off excess. And I'm going all the way to the top because we put that baking powder. It seemed to me like a lot of baking powder. So it's probably gonna be a thick brownie, I think. We'll see. Haven't done it in a while. Okay, and then we're gonna take this to the sink. And I have a silicone brush, which is gonna help us out in just a few here. Move this stuff out of the way. And I'm just gonna kind of do this. Okay. Then I'm going to take my silicone brush and I'm just going to take off the excess. This works pretty well. Okay. Camera really quick here. And now, okay. Now we are going to put the batter into our baking dish, our 9x13 baking dish. And this is kind of a thick batter, so I'm going to have to probably spoon this in like this to get started. I'm just scraping it off of the sides here. If you don't have a rubber spatula and you plan on doing a lot of baking, it's a good idea to get one because they're very helpful. I'm just going to kind of show you what I'm doing here if I can. I'm just kind of scraping it. Okay, I'm going to rinse off my hands and then I'm going to get something to spread this. Okay, I think I'm going to use this cake decorator device here, tool. In the previous video when I was making some brownies, a different type, I used a butter knife. So this time we'll try this. We'll see what works better. Okay, this is working pretty well. To get it into the corners. So what you're trying to do is get this even, you know, so that it's the same amount of thickness so that it bakes evenly. You don't want like it to be really thin in the corner here. So might have to get out a smaller knife. This is a cake decorator, but I might get out a butter knife just to push the stuff into the corners. This is good for the big areas. Okay. Definitely need to put out the butter knife to make sure I get my corner areas, the batter in the corner areas. Okay, we are almost there. We're almost ready. I'm anxious to see what this is going to taste like. It smells so good. Okay, so it looks pretty even here. Just worried about this little spot here. I'm gonna take this and just move some batter over. Put that in the corner. Okay, I think we're good. Now, I'm going to put this in the oven for, I'm going to start with just 20 minutes, and then we'll check it in 20 minutes on 325. So we'll check back in just a little while. Okay, so it's been about 20 minutes, and I'm just curious. So I'm just going to kind of pull this out and see. It definitely still has longer to go. So we'll just keep it in here, and everything's smelling wonderful. And we'll check back in. I think I'll set in, I will set a timer for about 10 more minutes. Okay, Okay, so I took this out of the oven. Let's test it. It smells so good, and I have to wait till it cools down, and it's going to be hard to wait. But I don't want to burn my tongue, and I don't want it to fall apart because it's so warm. So I'm going to check. And it came out clean. So it is ready to cool down and do the taste test. And as I said, I'm really looking forward to it. It smells absolutely delicious. See you soon. All right. Now there's a plate of brownies. By the way, the brownies came out of the baking dish very, very easily. And they smell wonderful. And I'm anxious to try it. As you can see, the texture is very, very nice. So, time to try one. Very, very good. Very, very delicious. Very unique flavor. The brown sugar and that butter just makes the brownies melt in your mouth. Chocolate is a wonderful combination. And the almond extract just makes it taste unique and very delicious. I'm just going to show you this again. This is just a great texture. This would be wonderful to have at a party because they don't fall apart or anything. Very yummy. I think everybody would enjoy them. And I hope you enjoyed this video. For those of you who subscribe to my channel, I really appreciate it. And if you don't, I hope that you do. And please like this video and share it with a friend. Have a great evening, and thanks for watching.